Last week we looked at defining sustainability and the triple bottom line. If you didn't have a chance to check that video out, then I'll link it up below. But today we're going to look at a model for sustainability that builds on this and helps us correct one of the main issues with the triple bottom line we looked at last week, which is the equal emphasis on all three pillars of environment, society, and economy. So first we need to understand why it matters whether equal emphasis is put on all three pillars or not. Because surely the environment, society, and economy are all important and even interconnected in a lot of ways. So as we move through topics in this series as well, you'll start to see that there are some really clear connections between all three of them, such as links between environmental pollution and human health, or somewhat less obviously, between climate change and gender equality. In fact, though, these links aren't binary in nature, but they are an interconnected web. They're like an ecosystem where a change to any single area will impact on all of the others. And this is one of the reasons that taking effective action on sustainability is more complex than we often think. It's not just deciding to use a reusable water bottle, although that's a great thing to do, but it can't address the deeper-seated issues that are all tangled up together and the externalities that are associated with each action we take. But if everything's so interrelated, then why does it not make sense to treat them as equal or as equally important? It comes down to a pretty simple concept, really, which I personally think is best demonstrated by a quote from Dr. Guy McPherson. And that's, if you think the economy is more important than the environment, try holding your breath while you count your money. Makes it all seem pretty clear, doesn't it? Our society and economy exist within the environment. We are immensely dependent on the environment for our health and well-being, and even our economy has been built through the use of natural resources. It's completely undeniable that without the environment, our society and our economy would cease to exist. And we've seen loads of examples of this in dystopian disaster movies that clearly demonstrate the total collapse in the event of an environmental disaster. So we can see that society and economy are highly dependent on the environment. But you can also make that same argument for the economy being dependent on society. When we talk about society, we're talking about a number of things. We're looking at familial structures, networks, friendships even, but also healthcare, key infrastructure, and education. If the global COVID-19 pandemic has shown us one thing, it's shown us a very stark demonstration of the importance of these key societal structures over the economy. Additionally, it's ultimately the people that make up society who decide what economic model is used for the exchange of goods and services. And ultimately, that model can be changed if it's deemed ineffective. So if you think of it in this sense, it doesn't really make sense to view the model as three individual pillars, or even to view sustainability as individual circles in a Venn diagram, but rather as nested circles, like this. So we can see here that society operates within the environment, and the economy operates within our society, which operates within the environment. So for the economy to truly flourish, the environment and society must also flourish. This theory and this sort of graphic representation reflects the idea of codependency. It highlights that without food, clean water, and fresh air, society and the economy cannot survive. Equally, it shows the impact of our economy and society on the environment as they exist within it. So anything that happens within there is impacting on the environment. And an impact in any one of those areas will also somehow affect the other two. Next week, we'll be looking at a more elaborate model that encompasses social foundations and ecological boundaries and allows us to identify the truly safe and just operating space for humanity.